Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to do an actual painting. This is going to be a water wash painting, so we're going to use a pen. As you can see in the drawing, there is what I'm using already. We're going to use a pen which is washable, and we pretty much use water and the paintbrush to go over the pen marks that we've made. So also we'll be using some sienna ink, which is just black ink. It's kind of different though because it has a bit of a thicker texture than most ink. And yeah, without further ado, continue watching the drawing. So at the moment we're just starting with getting lines in with the pen. So we're just literally going over the drawing that's already been done, which was done by me about a couple of minutes before the video. And yeah, we're just gonna going over it in pen, going through the darker areas and the lighter areas and etc. So also going to be, as you can see what I started doing, I started doing the little lines that you will see in the eyes already. You know when you've got the round the pupil, I think it's called the orifice, and that's where you've got all the colour as well on your eyes, so that will be like, that area outside the pupil will be brown, whatever. We're starting to do just a little bit of the lines there from the start. I'm not going to do the long heavy lines. I started off doing that, I thought no, let's wait till the end, because you've got to kind of experiment with that. So yeah, we just started with doing the orifice, and then we do a little bit of the pupil, but then we decided to go upstairs very quickly and get a paintbrush, which will be done soon. While we're waiting for myself to go and get a paintbrush, as you can see, there's a big kind of area there which I'm going to leave white to add a bit of a shine effect. So making sure that the pupil is pretty circular. I think like in general it has to be kind of a very circular shape, the pupil, otherwise it just looks off, if you know what I mean. Then what we continue to do is we just start to like add a bit of colour into the eye. Now we don't add a lot of colour because it's a black and white drawing, but we add very, 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 very light shades of black, like very, 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 like these are not black, they're grey, but we add very, very light shades of these. We don't have a lot of ink. As you can see, a lot of these are not even ink we're adding here. Like this area I'm painting now, we're just water washing. We are literally going over the pen with water, because the pen kind of picks up, the water kind of picks up the pen marks on the paper, and it just makes that technique which is happening here. So here what we're going to do, we're going to start adding a few testers, only to make sure we get the right type of very bright hue of black we're looking for. Well, it's not black, it's grey now, but you know, grey is a hue of black and whatever. We're making sure we're getting the right tone to do the kind of outside of the eye. So as you can see here, we've added very, 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 very light. It's a very watered down ink. So it's almost water tones we were just putting on there, just to get the lighter tones of the eye, and to kind of get the idea that, you know, the eye's there. By leaving just white, there's no really cue. It's kind of just a bit random. It looks a bit, you know, flat. And then we're just going to continue adding the pen lines that are needed for this kind of part. We're going to continue with our outline, might add a bit of the eyelashes as well, and yeah. Now with the eyelashes, the pen strokes have to be very, what's the word we're looking for? They have to be very quick. You don't make too long pen strokes, otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to have very, very, very thick eyelashes, which the eyelashes are not thick. Your eyelashes are pretty thin. So that's kind of what we're doing here. And then very quick strokes, not making the strokes long or complicated, we're making them very quick. Again, we're just kind of adding tone to that very white area of the eye, even though we know it's white, it isn't white. And again, we're just kind of enriching that water wash technique by constantly going over the pen marks that we've made. Now, one thing you've got to know is you've got to make sure that the page is dry before you add that pen mark in. So as you see what I'm doing sometimes in the drawing is I touch the drawing first before I go over it in the pen wash or before I start using my pen again, just to make sure that it is not, the page is not wet. Otherwise the kind of ink kind of looks a bit funny, it looks kind of separated and it looks fudgy and it does not look nice that way. And as you can see, I just felt to make sure the page is dry before I start doing the top eyelashes. Now, as you know, the top eyelashes are a bit longer than the bottom eyelashes, so our strokes are still quick, but they are a tad bit more defined, and we make the lines a bit longer as well. So we're just again going over the top eyelashes with quick strokes. Now the bottom strokes, as in like the bottom of the eyelash that's closest to the eye, will be a tad bit heavier, and they'll be good. And as you can see when we go back over, we kind of go over those very quick flicks and just make some areas a bit more defined. But overall, again, eyelashes are going to be very quick flicks. They're not long and defined. They are quick flicks. You can add more lines to eyelashes sometimes to make them thicker, but overall, we don't want them to be too thick. We want them to be thin and just quick. Although it's hard to explain, but the kind of like when your eye starts to kind of close into like the tear duct, you do make the eyelashes a bit more thicker when you're going for the top one. So like maybe the ones that's the tear duct, a bit closer together. That's probably why you make them a bit more thicker and they're less quick thick. And now, as you can see, we kind of just go in a bit of an area outside the eye, which is kind of like where the eyelid can be seen, if you know what I mean, because obviously our eyes have eyelids. That's where the eyelids open, so you get a little bit of a crease line there. And we're going to kind of go over that, but we're pretty sure we leave that to last anyway. Before, we're going to go over the kind of top eye line with just a little bit of water, just to make it a bit more thicker, if you know what I mean, and a little bit of ink as well. You can kind of see I've added a little bit of ink in between as well. So again, in this bit here, what we're doing is doing a little bit of testers for the kind of inside of the eye, the orifice, the kind of the bit that surrounds the pupil. So we start with paint strokes, and I decided, no, we're not going to do those. So instead, what we do is we use the pen. So we kind of just start first by refining that little area that eye will reflect off in the eye, which is, as you can see, a big white area. And then what we slowly start developing towards is adding those lines, which are right there, as you can see. Those lines will kind of just be there to, and I kind of point out again, I fill the paper to make sure it's dry before I go on. And then we just kind of add those lines in around the eye. Obviously, because we know that, those are the lines. We do not make these lines quick lines. You kind of make them a bit longer. You kind of have a pen down on the paper for a lot longer because these lines are very straight. They're not bent lines. A lot of them are straight lines. So obviously I'm not going to get a ruler and just go over them. We are going to use our straight lines to kind of make sure we get that kind of effect in the eye. And quite shortly, what will happen pretty much is I'll magically finish this drawing and we'll show you the end result and we talk about how these techniques have worked. Now here is the kind of finished drawing. And as you can see, everything we've kind of spoken about has worked together. As you can see, I feel as if this area was perfectly white, the drawing would have been very complete, it would look very incomplete. Hence, we've decided to add the very, 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 very light kind of black tones in. That's the word, not hues, tones. We've added the black tones in. And as you can see here, in the kind of iris, whatever it's called, we've kind of have a certain texture of the lines. As you see, the darker areas, the lines are closer together. And in the kind of some areas, the lines are further apart. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and just share this video. Like screenshot it on your Snapchat, screenshot it and post it on your Snapchat. Send it to somebody else to watch and that type of thing. Yeah, thank you, and be in tune for the next episode.